Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 10 Part 4 based on novel. So let's start. There were red and green spots occasionally adorning the lush green mountain village. Additionally, the entire mountain was filled with bird noises and this caused the village to appear like a paradise. Lin Dong slowly walked across this village while being led by the Xinqing trio. There were occasionally some beautiful figures flashing and appearing around them. After which, pairs of large eyes, which contain rich curiosity, would stare at Lin Dong. At times, there were some soft laughter emitted through covered mouths and they sounded just like larks. Lin Dong helplessly shook his head as he was observed in such a fashion. The Xinqing trio also quietly laughed. After which, the two ladies separated and called those beautiful figures to leave. Sir Lin Dong, please don't be upset. Our nine-tailed tribe is usually closed and there are hardly any outsiders visiting, especially humans, Xinqing explained. Lin Dong waved his hand and indicated that he was not bothered by this. After all, he was already used to being surrounded and observed. Our main camp is in front and our clan elders are waiting for you, sir. Xinqing laughed. They had already announced Lin Dong's identity before they entered the village. Understood. Lin Dong nodded. After which, he increased his pace. A moment later, a spacious stockade appeared in his sight. There were many figures in front of the stockade. A somewhat graceful and beautiful woman stood in front. She immediately caught sight of Xinqing before an excited smile surfaced on her face. Mother. When Xinqing saw that beautiful woman, her eyes reddened slightly. Subsequently, she pounced at the woman. It was likely that this little girl really missed her home while she was out alone. The pretty woman hurriedly stepped forward before she embraced Xinqing dotingly. Then, she quickly asked how the latter was doing. Those surrounding women also came forward with pleased faces. Standing aside, when Lin Dong saw the scene in front of him, he curled his lips and thought about his parents and his family. It has been many years since he left the Great Yang Empire and he wondered how they are doing now. Haha, why? Xinqing has actually brought back a man this time around. A woman's teasing laughter sounded while Lin Dong was feeling exceptionally emotional in his heart. Lin Dong was startled. He lifted his head and saw a couple of pretty women smilingly teasing him. Xinqing's face turned red after hearing their words. She hurriedly said, "All of you should not speak such nonsense. This is Sir Lin Dong. He came to the demon region to settle some matters. I have been ordered by the whole chief to be his guide. Along the way, we met Sister Liu's group, who was captured by the Blood Python City. Sir Lin Dong is the one who helped me to rescue them. All of you should stop uttering nonsense. He is an important guest and must not be slighted." The pretty woman glared at the few women by the side. After which, she looked at Lin Dong and spoke warmly. "Young brother Lin Dong, on behalf of the entire nine-tailed tribe, I would like to thank you for the matter regarding the little Liu duo." Lin Dong waved his hand and said, "Chief is too courteous. Xinqing is my guide. It is only right that I lend her a hand. Calling me chief appears to be too distant. If young brother Lin Dong does not despise my nine-tailed tribe, you can call me Aunt Xin." The pretty woman gently said. She was extremely beautiful. Although she was no longer young, time had hardly left any traces on her face. "In that case, I will do as you say." Lin Dong smiled. Calling this extremely beautiful and gentle woman chief was indeed a little awkward. "I am already aware of the reason why you came to the Beast War region. Let's go in and talk about it." Aunt Xin laughed. She turned around and led the way after seeing Lin Dong nod his head. Within the hall, Aunt Xin watched Xinqing place a fragrant tea respectfully beside Lin Dong, before retreating. After which she softly asked, "Can young brother Lin Dong tell me a little more about the person you are looking for? He is called Lin Yang and is a brother of mine. However, I am not sure if he is using this name in the Beast War region. He is from the Tiger tribe. It is likely the Heavenly Devil Tiger tribe." Lin Yang, Aunt Xin frowned and thought about it before shaking her head. Based on what I know, no one called Lin Yang appeared in the Beast War region during this past year. The Tiger Tribe is a huge tribe in the demonic beast world. The Heavenly Devil Tiger Tribe is not only one of the 3 strongest tribes in the Tiger Tribe, but is also one of the 8 king tribes in the demonic beast world. There are many experts from the Tiger Tribe in the Beast War region, including experts from the Heavenly Devil Tiger Tribe. However, they are all renowned experts. This does not tally with the information that young brother Lin Dong has provided. Lin Dong sighed in disappointment. It seems like the search for Little Flame was not going to be an easy task. However, young brother Lin Dong, there is no need to worry. I will send someone to gather information about the experts, who have recently made a name for themselves in the Beast War region during this 1 year. Given young brother Lin Dong's ability, it is likely that your brother is no ordinary individual as well. Hence, he should be able to make a name for himself after coming to the Beast War region. This will make collecting information much easier. Aunt Shin said. Lin Dong nodded and replied, in that case, I will have to trouble Aunt Shin. Young brother Lin Dong, please stay at our Nine-Tail village during the next few days. I will update you once we have some news. Aunt Shin laughed. She beckoned a young lady over to lead Lin Dong to rest, after seeing Lin Dong nod his head. Xin Qing sat beside Aunt Shin after Lin Dong left. She asked, Mother, do you have any information regarding the person Sir Lin Dong is looking for? The Beast War region is extremely vast. Moreover, our Nine-Tailed tribe has isolated ourselves in one corner and we can only protect ourselves. However, you can be rest assured that I will do my best. Aunt Shin smiled. Her hand rubbed Xin Qing's small face and spoke dotingly, Girl, you must have suffered in the outside world by yourself, am I right? No. Everyone in the Flame Divine Hall takes good care of me. Xin Qing shook her head and smilingly said. Is this young brother Lin Dong also from the Flame Divine Hall? Aunt Shin looked in the direction where Lin Dong had left and asked. No. However, Sir Lin Dong is extremely powerful. Not only does the chief hold him in high regard, but there is also an elder, Qing Shi, who admires him. I heard from elder sister Xin Lian that elder Qing Shi is at the reincarnation stage. There was a worshipful expression flashing in Xin Qing's large eyes. Reincarnation stage. Hearing these words, Aunt Shin trembled and the few other women around her gasped, as great shock covered their faces. Even when their Nine-Tailed tribe was at their peak, they too did not dare to slight such a person. A few days back, the Flame Divine Hall was attacked. It is rumored that there was a reincarnation stage expert and 3 samsara stage experts. Xin Qing's small face was excited as she said. She completely ignored those completely stunned individuals around her. After all, such a frightening lineup could easily destroy any faction in the Beast War region. At that time, Sir Lin Dong joined forces with elder sister Xin Lian and the other members of the Flame Divine Hall to defeat a samsara stage expert. Moreover, they even managed to seal him. Aunt Shin's expression was altered. She was able to detect Lin Dong's strength previously. It seemed to be similar to hers, the initial profound death stage. Furthermore, she was also quite impressed by the fact that Lin Dong could defeat Cao Ying, from the Blood Python City, with his current strength. However, that shock was a little insignificant compared to what Xin Qing just said. It looks like young brother Lin Dong is indeed extraordinary. Aunt Shin said. She no longer had any doubts about the fact that Mo Luo and elder Qing Shi thought highly of Lin Dong. Xin Qing nodded continuously. Her beautiful small face was flush and appeared extremely cute. Xin Qing, have you fallen for this young brother Lin Dong? He seems pretty decent. A woman by the side teased after seeing Xin Qing's appearance. Aunt Hong, what nonsense are you spouting? I am only a little girl. How can I match up to Sir Lin Dong? Even elder sister Xin Lian is fond of him. Xin Qing's small face was as hot as fire as she spoke in embarrassment. All of you should stop teasing her. All right, Xin Qing, you should go and rest. Additionally, you should avoid going out now that you have returned. It will be troublesome if Qin Gang from the 100 Beast Ridge learns about this. Aunt Shin smiled after hearing their teasing voice before she finally said. The redness on Xin Qing's face diminished significantly after she heard this name. She quickly clenched her teeth and nodded gently. Aunt Xin could only smile bitterly and nod her head upon seeing this. Lin Dong remained in the Ninetail village for the next few days. Although it was located in the chaotic Beast War region, this place was exceptionally peaceful. Such an atmosphere was in complete contrast to the chaotic conflicts in the outside world. Although some news would reach him every day as he rested, it was not the information that he was looking for. It seems like the Ninetail tribe had a limited information gathering ability. However, Lin Dong did not complain about this. This was especially after seeing Xin Qing's pitiful and frightened manner each time she saw him shake his head. Hence, it was almost impossible for him to feel anger. Instead, he smiled, rubbed the little girl's head and comforted her. Only then did her expression improve. In any case, he had only just arrived at the Beast War region. He could treat this as resting point while he came up with a solution. Another 3 days quietly passed while Lin Dong adopted this relaxed attitude. Lin Dong was seated on a towering large tree within the village and leaning on a tough and thick tree branch. His eyes were narrowed as he allowed the warm sunlight to penetrate through the gap of the leaves and scatter over his body. The comfortable Lin Dong suddenly opened his eyes. He wore a puzzled expression as he looked at the Ninetail village, which was in quite a big commotion. He saw some young ladies congregating at the deserted areas of this village at this moment. "Sir Lin Dong, can you allow us to stay here for a while? We will definitely not disturb you." Xin Qing landed on a tree branch beside Lin Dong. She placed her hands together in a pleading fashion, appearing extremely delicate and beautiful. We will definitely not disturb you. If you are unhappy, we will let Xin Qing warm your bed." A couple of young ladies by the side laughed secretly. Their words were extremely bold. "What is it?" Lin Dong smiled at them and asked. He had become somewhat acquainted with these young ladies of the Ninetail tribe over these few days. Xin Qing sighed softly upon hearing this. Promptly, she laughed bitterly. "The 100 Beast Ridge is here to collect their tribute." "Tribute?" Lin Dong was slightly startled for a moment before he came to a sudden comprehension. This place was the junction between 100 Beast Ridge and Deep Lightning Mountain. Therefore, in order for the Ninetail tribe to live here peacefully, they naturally had to pay a tribute to these two factions. "Why are all of you hiding? The women of our Ninetail tribe are all extremely beautiful. Hence, it is very easy for us to attract trouble. If we catch the eye of those who come to collect tributes, there will be a great deal of trouble." Xin Qing's eyes were dim. Perhaps being beautiful would bring a lot of benefits if one was born someplace else. However, it was extremely dangerous in a place like this. In fact, one could even end up implicating one's entire tribe if one was careless. Lin Dong was quiet. The Ninetail tribe was extremely beautiful, but they did not have the ability to protect their beauty. Previously, there was someone called Qin Gang from 100 Beast Ridge, who came to collect the tribute. Sister Xin Qing caught his eye and he insisted on taking her as a concubine. In order to protect her, the chief asked her to temporarily leave the Beast War region. Subsequently, our Ninetail tribe had to pay quite a hefty price before Qin Gang reluctantly let this matter go to rest, a young lady angrily said. "Qin Gang." Lin Dong glanced at Xin Qing, who was gently biting her small mouth. "He is one of the 9 warriors of 100 Beast Ridge and is extremely powerful. His strength is not inferior to that of Cao Ying from Blood Python City," Xin Qing said. In the face of such oppressive force, she had no means of retaliating besides fleeing. Lin Dong nodded slightly. He turned his eyes and looked outside the village. This place was quite secluded. Coincidentally, it was also possible to see the scenery in the distance. At this moment, there were thick clouds of dust rising in that direction, while the thundering sound of galloping horses could be faintly heard. "Ha ha, members of the Ninetail tribe, hand over this year's tribute." As the dust scattered, a loud laughter immediately reverberated over the village like thunder. Following this, the dust settled and one could see a black mass of people appearing outside the village. Their evil and ferocious auras caused even dark clouds to gather in the sky. This voice. The expressions of Xinqing's group changed drastically after hearing this loud laughter. Is that Qin Gang? Lin Dong came to a comprehension when he saw this. Ah, damn it, why is he the one who is collecting tribute from our nine-tailed tribe? Xinqing gently bit her lips while uneasiness surged in her eyes. Lin Dong slightly narrowed his eyes. He looked outside and saw a burly man standing in front of the group. This man was baring his upper body, while the surface of his body gave off the luster of black rock. A brutal and ferocious aura spread from him. At this moment, this figure was riding a huge blood-red bat as he smiled and looked at the Nine-Tail village. The light barrier covering the Nine-Tail village rippled soon after the loud laughter sounded as Aunt Shin led some experts from the Nine-Tail village and stepped out. Ha ha, Chief Shin, it is time to hand over the tribute. I believe that there is no need for me to tell you the amount, am I right? The man seated on the blood bat smilingly looked at Aunt Shin and spoke in a lazy manner. Oh, it is Lord Qin Gang, Aunt Shin nodded. She waved her hand before a Qiankuan bag flew towards the man called Qin Gang. There are 10 million Xian Yuan pills inside. Qin Gang grabbed the Qiankuan bag. He casually glanced at it before tossing it to his subordinate behind and laughed. Chief Shin is really easy to talk to. My nine-tailed tribe still requires the protection of the 100-Beast Ridge. It is only natural that we offer this tribute. Aunt Shin lowered her head and said. Does Chief Shin really think so? Qin Gang asked playfully. Aunt Shin stiffened slightly before quickly nodding. Where is that girl Xinqing? Why didn't she come to visit me now that she has returned? Qin Gang smiled and asked. Aunt Shin's expression changed. She hurriedly said, Lord Qin Gang, my daughter is training in the outside world and has yet to return. Do you really think that my 100-Beast Ridge is blind? Qin Gang laughed cold as he stared at Aunt Shin and said, You should know how I feel about Xinqing. If she comes with me, your nine-tailed tribe will be able to enjoy the complete protection of my 100-Beast Ridge. Moreover, there is no need to hand over such a large tribute every year. Can't you recognize the benefits? Aunt Shin's expression fluctuated. I will be waiting here today. If you don't allow that girl to come out, I can only lead some of my men into the village and search for her. Qin Gang crossed his hands over his chest and spoke indifferently. The expressions of Aunt Shin and the elders of the Nine-Tail village became extremely ugly. However, they did not dare to show their anger. This led to a stalemate between the two parties for a time. Qin Gang knows that you have returned. Lin Dong, who was observing the area outside of the village, suddenly turned his head towards Xinqing, who had been peeping outside, and said. Xinqing's pretty face changed upon hearing this. She involuntarily cried out indignantly, That persistent and hateful fellow! Those fellows refused to leave. A young lady glanced at Xinqing in a somewhat worried manner. Things would likely worsen once those men ran out of patience. Although they could not enter the village if they activated the Nine-Tail village formation, they would definitely offend Qin Gang. Their Nine-Tail village might be at the junction between 100-Beast Ridge and Deep Lightning Mountain, but they did not belong to either side. Hence, Deep Lightning Mountain would not help them if 100-Beast Ridge caused them trouble. The young lady secretly glanced at Lin Dong as she spoke. She was about to speak when Xinqing by the side glared at her. All she could do was to shut her mouth. When Xinqing saw this situation, she secretly sighed. She was clearly aware of Lin Dong's character. If they were to open their mouths and beg, the latter would definitely lend them a hand. However, Qin Gang was not Cao Ying. Even if he could defeat Qin Gang, what about the aftermath? It would undoubtedly be a declaration of war on 100-Beast Ridge. That huge faction. How could Lin Dong oppose them all by himself? At that time, Lin Dong would undoubtedly find himself in great danger. More people are arriving. Lin Dong looked outside of the village. It was as if he did not detect the exchange of glances between those girls behind him, as he spoke in a faint voice. Oh! Xinqing's group was startled upon hearing this. They lifted their heads and heard rumbling sounds transmitted from another direction. Could it be members from the Deep Lightning Mountain? They actually came at the same time. Rumble. The ground shook as dust surged. A large group of people rapidly approached from a great distance away. Finally, they arrived at the Ninetail village under the stunned eyes of Aunt Shin's group. It was possible to see a fluttering flag with the word mountain within the group. It is the mountain general from Deep Lightning Mountain, Meng Shan. Qin Gang frowned as he looked at the group that had arrived. Clearly, he did not expect to meet members of Deep Lightning Mountain. Qin Gang? It is surprising that you are here too. When Qin Gang discovered the leader of this group, the latter had also noticed his presence. The latter was startled as he curled the corner of his mouth and said. The person who had arrived had a skinny figure. His skin was dark yellow in color. If one was to look carefully, one would discover a layer of yellowish tiny scales that appeared somewhat mysterious. Lord Meng Shan, it isn't time for Deep Lightning Mountain to collect their tribute, is it? Aunt Qing looked at Meng Shan and asked. I am not here to collect tribute from your Ninetail village. Meng Shan glanced at Aunt Shin and laughed. After which, he threw his somewhat shady eyes towards the Ninetail village. I am here to look for a human. He is called Lin Dong. You should know. Aunt Shin's expression slightly altered. She said, we do not know. Chief Shin, please don't lie to him. Based on what I know, Blood Python City spent a great fortune to cause trouble for Lin Dong. Clearly, he is hired by them. Qin Gan laughed strangely. He really wanted the Ninetail tribe to offend Deep Lightning Mountain. At that time, the Ninetail tribe will have no choice but to cede to his demands. Aunt Shin clenched her hands tightly. Her eyes were deeply worried. It was likely that she did not expect things to develop like this. Oh, it seems that I have been dragged into this matter. In the village, Lin Dong suddenly smiled as he stood up. Sir Lin Dong, why don't you leave from the back? Xin Qing suddenly grabbed Lin Dong's clothes as she spoke with red eyes. She was aware of how troublesome it would be if he got dragged into the matter. Although I don't like trouble, Lin Dong rubbed Xin Qing's small head and smiled. However, his pitch-black eyes contained an extremely sharp expression. I am not afraid of it. In this world, if one chooses to hide when faced with trouble, there will come a time when one can no longer hide. Instead of that, it is best to get rid of the root of the problem right from the beginning. But that is Deep Lightning Mountain. They are much stronger than Blood Python City. Xin Qing hurriedly said. Relax. Lin Dong comforted her. His body moved and turned into a light figure that hurried out of the village. Xin Qing could only stomp her feet gently upon seeing this. After which, she lifted her head and looked outside of the village. A large group of people had already completely surrounded her entire village. The atmosphere inside the Ninetail village became a little uneasy due to this. A distance away from the Ninetail village, the land beneath suddenly trembled, as Lin Dong exited the village. A black torrent surged past just like floodwater. This group was rather stealthy as they swiftly traveled. The dark red eyes were like ferocious beasts. Given the aura of this group, they could be considered as an army. That almost corporeal ferocious aura was far superior compared to those people from the Blood Python City. A black flag swayed with the wind amongst this black army. There was a huge bloody word on it. It looked like an absolute, ferocious tiger that was about to break free from the flag. That word was Yang. In front of the Ninetail village, two groups of men had surrounded the village until nobody could enter or leave. At this moment, these two groups wore unfriendly expressions as they looked at the Ninetail village. A fierce glint flashed in their eyes, allowing one to understand that they were not friendly individuals. Village Chief Shin, I will give you another 5 minutes. If you do not hand over Lin Dong, don't blame me for showing no mercy when I enter to catch him forcefully. Meng Shan's hands were wrapped around his chest. He lowered his eyes slightly as he spoke in a faint voice. Standing beside him, Qin Gang observed this scene with a smile. He had no intention of speaking up. Clearly, he wanted the Ninetail village to offend Meng Shan. Aunt Shin clenched her hand under her sleeve. The Ninetail elders beside her had extremely ugly expressions as well. This threat from Meng Shan made them feel extremely anxious. If this matter was not resolved appropriately, their nine-tail village might lose the protection of the two strongest factions in this region. At that time, some of the other factions, who have been eyeing their nine-tail village for a long time, would take advantage and invade them. Aunt Shin's eyes flickered. She clenched her teeth and was about to speak when her expression suddenly changed. The light barrier behind her rippled before a young man slowly walked out from it. "My friend, you are quite a well-known individual in the Beast War region. To purposefully make things difficult for a group of women, aren't you going a little overboard?" A faint laughter was also emitted from the ripple. Soon after, Lin Dong landed beside Aunt Shin as many pairs of eyes suddenly turned towards him. "You are that Lin Dong?" Meng Shan's and Qin Gang's eyes paused on Lin Dong at this moment. It seemed like they were a little curious about this person, who had recently caused a commotion in the Beast War region. Facing their fearsome gazes, Lin Dong's expression did not change. Instead, all he did was smile as he quietly admitted, "Although there are other humans in the Beast War region, it is rare for any of them to act so arrogantly here." Meng Shan's yellowish eyes stared at Lin Dong. He parted his mouth and said, "I have accepted some benefits from the Blood Python City. Hence, you must come with me today. Relax, I will not do anything to you. All I will do is hand you over to Cao Ying." Lin Dong looked at Meng Shan, before he quickly glanced at the ferocious group behind him and laughed. "I'm sorry, I am not planning on going anywhere today." Meng Shan laughed upon hearing this. "That is not something for you to decide. I know that you are quite powerful and even Cao Ying is unable to deal with you. However, do you think that the mob from Blood Python City can be compared with my Metal Mountain Guards?" The large group behind suddenly cried out sternly in response to Meng Shan's words. The cry was like thunder that reverberated over the place. Moreover, their aura was like a mountain pressing down, forcing Lin Dong to step back. Standing beside him, Aunt Shin's group had a change in expression. They felt that even their breathing had become more difficult. Just when they were unable to hold on any longer, a figure stepped forward from behind them. Then, he shouldered that pressuring and shocking aura all by himself. "It seems like with regards to today's matter, you plan to pester me till the end." A faint green light surfaced around Lin Dong's body. He stared at Meng Shan while a sharpness surged deep within his eyes. "You still dare to act so arrogantly at this juncture? What an ignorant fool." Meng Shan's eyes became dark and solemn when he saw Lin Dong's attitude. Clearly, he was a little furious. After all, with his current status and together with the fact that he had brought along an army, not only did that fellow refuse to surrender, he even began to irritate him with his nonsensical words. "Young brother Lin Dong." Aunt Shin's group became very anxious after they saw this tense atmosphere. If they chose to fight with Meng Shan now, there was no guarantee that it will resolve the desperate situation that they were currently in. Moreover, even if it did, what Meng Shan represented was the entire Deep Lightning Mountain. At this moment, Xin Qing and the rest in the village were also anxiously looking at their direction. After all, it would not be beneficial for Lin Dong if this continued on. "Someone capture this brat." Meng Shan laughed coldly. He waved his hand before the eyes of the Metal Mountain Guards behind him turned densely cold. Wave of majestic yuan power fluctuation spread. From aside, Qin Gang watched this scene with chilly eyes. He wanted to see how this human called Lin Dong was going to escape from the current situation. After all, Meng Shan was even stronger than Cao Ying. Moreover, the Metal Mountain Guards under him were a battle-hardened unit and they were several times stronger when compared to the mob-like forces from Blood Python City. Lin Dong slowly clenched his hand. As he stared at the lineup in front of him, he knew that things would not end peacefully. In that case, he could only choose to fight. Bang! The land trembled as Lin Dong's eyes became increasingly sharp. This sudden tremor caused the tense atmosphere to weaken. Rumble. The tremor came closer within an extremely short period of time. Subsequently, everyone in front of the Nine-Tail village suddenly turned their heads. They were shocked as they looked at the horizon. That was because they saw a black metal-like torrent surging over while being accompanied by a monstrous-like ferocity. Wherever the black torrent whistled past, their shocking ferocity would agglomerate it into layers of black clouds in the sky. Soon after, the black clouds churned and blotted out the sun, appearing very frightening. Everyone outside of the Nine-Tail village had some shock in their eyes as they looked at the black torrent rushing over. Their aura far surpassed the two groups currently present. With the approach of this torrent, everyone finally discovered a fluttering flag with the Yang character within the black torrent. It is the tiger-devouring army of General Yang. A ripple-like whistling sound suddenly erupted at this moment. When the two groups led by Meng Shan and Qin Gang heard this incoming whistle, they did not make any unnecessary noise. Instead, a deep trace of fear flashed across their eyes. General Yang. Qin Gang's expression changed as he stared at this black army rushing over. There was deep fear and horror surging within his eyes. The 100 Beast Ridge had many conflicts with the Deep Lightning Mountain. Various battles of different sizes had erupted again and again. However, during these fights, the army known as the Tiger-Devouring Army had always forced the 100 Beast Ridge to pay a hefty price. The commander of that army was also the most fearsome general in Deep Lightning Mountain, General Yang. He was an extremely fearsome warrior, who had swiftly rose in the Beast War region at a shocking pace in the past 1 year. Why did this ruthless character come as well? Qin Gang tugged at the corner of his lips. Then, he glanced pitifully at Lin Dong. It seems like he will wound up in a pretty miserable state today. That is the tiger-devouring army. When Anshin's group saw the black army rushing towards them, their expressions became ashen. They were still able to remain calm in the face of Meng Shan and Qin Gang. However, the courage in their hearts finally began to collapse in front of this black army, which was accompanied by a monstrous and fearsome aura. It was the strongest army in the Deep Lightning Mountain. At the same time, it was also the most vicious one, and they always believed in eliminating all their enemies. Therefore, only a sea of blood and a mountain of corpses remained wherever the tiger-devouring army went. If this ferocious force attacked their Nine-Tail village, their village would likely be turned into a river of blood. Lin Dong also frowned as he stared at that incoming black army. The dense, seemingly solidified brutal aura caused his eyes to turn grave. This army was clearly the strongest one Lin Dong had met since arriving at the Demon region. Is that also a faction from the Deep Lightning Mountain? It is indeed extremely powerful. Lin Dong inhaled a deep breath of air. Lightning and black light surged within his eyes. It seems like he was in for a bitter fight today. Rumble. The black torrent arrived with a charging momentum. A moment later, it gradually appeared in front of everyone's sight. Their fearsome and murderous aura caused everyone's breathing to become a little sluggish. With the approach of this army, everyone could see countless pairs of ruthless and emotionless dark red eyes under their armors. Of course, even though this black army had a frightening and fearsome aura, everyone's eyes quickly turned to the middle of this torrent. An even more terrifying and ferocious aura rose into the sky from that spot. If the tiger-devouring army was made up of incomparably fearsome tigers, the metal tower man in the middle of the army was the genuine king of tigers. The man had a metal tower-like body. Dense violent aura seemed to agglomerate into a blood-red tiger-like figure. Its tiger eyes scanned the place, appearing as though it was looking down on the world. Its ferocity was overwhelming. Many pairs of eyes gathered on the metal tower-like body as rich horror filled their eyes. Even Meng Shan was no exception. Lin Dong's eyes were also looking at the metal tower figure. However, his eyes slowly became sluggish, while his typically calm face had an extremely stunned expression. Standing beside him, Anshin could only smile bitterly upon seeing this. Their situation was becoming increasingly desperate. The black torrent ignored these gazes, which contained despair, as they charged forward in an extremely domineering manner. After which, they tore through the defensive lines of the two groups. People tumbled, but not a single person dared to curse them. Bang! The black torrent paused outside of the stockade. An extreme silence took over, causing the hearts of many to pound violently. After that large army stopped, that black torrent parted. After which, everyone saw a ferocious metal tower-like figure walking forward. The land itself seemed to tremble as he walked. Meng Shan stared at this metal tower-like figure. His skin twitched and he was about to smile and speak when he realized that the latter did not even look at him. Instead, he walked straight to the skinny young man behind. Meng Shan swallowed the words that had reached his mouth upon seeing this. After which, he observed this scene in bewilderment. The metal tower man's footsteps became even quicker. Finally, a rumbling sound, that was accompanied by an extreme pressure, paused in front of Lin Dong. Anshin and the rest behind involuntarily trembled. The atmosphere was tense. Its ferocious tiger eyes faced Lin Dong's calm lake-like eyes. Their bodies were in complete contrast. In fact, Lin Dong could only reach the thigh of that figure when he stood up. That figure looked just like a giant when placed beside Lin Dong. However, the following scene left everyone in deep shock. That was because they saw that extremely fearsome tiger, who was known for its brutalness and blood-covered hands, slowly kneeling in front of Lin Dong. This allowed the young man to look straight at his face. Following which, its blood-dyed scarlet eyes actually became a little moist. "Big brother." Its unusually hoarse and excited voice caused everyone to be startled. Lin Dong looked at this metal tower-like man, whose appearance had undergone a drastic transformation. Clearly, this 1 year had changed him tremendously. However, Lin Dong was still able to detect a familiar sensation from those scarlet tiger eyes. "You brat." Lin Dong finally smiled and extended his hand, amidst the deathly silent atmosphere and stunned eyes around him. He gently rubbed the hair of the metal tower-like man and released a deep sigh. "I have finally found you." This video will end here.